Namaskar and good evening to the viewers of Pandit Ravi Shankar Music Foundation. We are on our 80th episode of Reflection series, marking 101 years of Bharat Ratna Pandit Ravi Shankar. Music is the highest art, and to those who understand, is the highest worship. Well said by Swami Vivekananda, remembering him on his 119th death anniversary. Today, on our Reflection series, we are having one of the senior most disciple of Panditji, Pandit Partho sarothy, who will be sharing his experience of Panditji, starting from his learning and many concerts he accompanied him. So on behalf of Pandit Ravi Shankar Music Foundation, I invite Pandit Partho sarothy to our show Reflections.
Namaskar.
Dada Namaskar.
Namaste.
How are you, Dada?
Absolutely fine. And what about you? Good?
Fine, fine,
Good to
Dada.
see you again. And
Yeah,
smiling face. It's
yeah,
a
Dada.
beautiful medicine. Smiling is the best medicine in this world.
Yes, yes, Dada. So to continue with the conversation of today's episode, I would like to invite Gaurav Mazumdar.
পার্থদা নমস্কার, নাবারুন নমস্কার।
Namaskar, namaste.
Namaskar.
কেমন আছো
How are
পার্থদা?
you, Gaurav?
আই এম ডুইং ওয়েল, ডুইং ভেরি ওয়েল, থ্যাংক ইউ পার্থদা।
Good to see you digitally.
At least, at least.
At least.
So what a pleasure Parthada.
Thank you.
I will let you
Same
start
here.
today's episode. It's a very special day for me because we are going to speak on Guruji, and you have been a very special member of Guruji's family. And for all of us, you have been an example of dedication and hard work when it comes to Riyaz. And you were one of the first person I met when I came to Delhi, Lodi Estate, and there were important events in my life which are connected to you. So I feel very emotional today, and I'm very happy to be able to do this with you. Thank you, Parthada.
Thank you.
Where do you want to begin your journey? How would you like to share today's? Where do you want to start?
Sure. First of all, I like to express my hearty pranam, namaskar, adab to all the viewers. I'm feeling extremely humbled and fortunate to be a part of this interactive session, and I'm very thankful and grateful, and I like to extend my gratitude to my respected Guruma, Chinnamma, Sukanya Shankar, and great Anushka Shankar, and my very dear friends, Pandit Gaurav Mazumdar, and Shri Nabarun Chatterji, and Adityaji, for giving me the wonderful opportunity tonight. Before I proceed, I like to begin by playing one of Guruji's creations. Name of the raga is Bhavani Bhairav. He created this raga spontaneously when he was touring in Konkan, Western India. So he was playing in a Shiva temple. So he thought of creating one beautiful morning raga. So please allow me to play that beautiful melody, and I find it very spiritual, serious, pure. So please allow me. So I wanted to play a little short, rendition before I proceed. So it's like a prayers to the Almighty, and it was a humble tribute to my great guru, Bharat Ratna Pandit Ravi Shankar ji. You know, to say anything about Guruji is beyond imagination. I had so many years, you know, to spend with him, and it was not only from the outside. I had the opportunity to stay in his house, eating, talking, playing, learning music, and doing so many things. It was a wonderful, great opportunity. I feel really fortunate. Guruji is like a collection of thousands of qualities, and he is one of the most precious gifts and treasures from the God. So I like to say a few words before approaching my guru for a student. I like to flashback, few incidents, which is very important to know for everybody. And I recall started my music lesson when I was just a small kid, 8 years old. But it's very interesting how I started. You'll be amazed to know. I didn't know anything about music, but I, from the childhood, I used to see something is lying on the Almeida, but I didn't know what was that. So when I turned 8, for my curiosity, I asked my father, "Dad, what is that?" You know, casually, he just asked me, "Do you like to learn?" Without knowing anything, I just said innocently, "Yes, Dad." That day, I started my lesson from my dad. He was a disciple of great Pandit Radhika Mohan Maitra. Few years I learned from him, and I learned from him, all my life. And after a few years, I was under the guidance of my another great teacher, Ustad Dianish Khan Sahabji, was the disciple and son of none other, a great, super legendary musician, Ustad Baba Ali Akbar Khan Sahabji. I was there with him, almost 7 to 8 years. I like to tell few incidents because those incidents in my life are so precious. I was learning from Ustad Dhyanis Khan Sahib ji, I remember I was 12 years old, a boy, and I never, you know, I couldn't carry my sarot on my own. So when I went to my teacher's house, my father always used to help me by carrying my instrument. So 1972, I arrived, I rang the bell, and what happened? Caretaker came out, your Guruji is not here. So please wait. So then after just few seconds, I see Baba Ali Akbar Khan Sahib ji is coming to me, and he was saying, Dhyanesh is not here, he has gone out. Please come in. I'd like to teach you. So for me, great fortune, how humble a man can be, it's a lesson for us. He gave me almost 1 hour teaching. That's the incident I will remember. But I must tell you, I saw my Guruji, Pandit Ravi Shankar ji, when I was just 10 years old. I was playing in an orchestra where Pandit Pt.Ravi and Pandit Anindra Chatterji and all the senior students of Ali Akbar Khan Sahab College. And I was just 10 years old. So they thought of, including me. I don't know what I had. So I played with them, and I still remember I was sitting in front and in the middle. Oh my God. So after the orchestra, Guruji and Ali Akbar Khan Sahib ji had a performance in Doverland Music Conference. So I finished my, task. Then I heard his name so much. I thought of, let me go to him and let me take his blessings. So going to him, it was not that easy, but somehow I managed to reach to him, and I s- I was just 10 years old. I saw him, his face was glowing like anything. So, so I touched his feet. Okay. So I proceed another incident. This is all connected with Guruji also. So when I was, just 14 years old, I was playing in front of Ustad Ali Akbar Khan Sahab ji and Pandit Nikhil Mehra Pandit Shankar Ghosh, and many other people. And just 14 years, can you believe? So after the performance, Ali Akbar Khan Sahab ji came and told me, "You played so well." You know, hearing all this, it was like a real blessings for me. Then I started playing in All India Radio 1976. I got the first prize in All India Radio competition when I was just 16 years old. So I must tell you, when I was 17 years old, I played one radio program that was 1977. Nikhil Banerjee listened to him and he asked one of his friends, please tell Partho to meet with me. So they were my dream. Guruji, Ali Akbar Khan Sahab ji, and Nikhil Banerjee. So I got excited. So I went to meet him. I touched his feet. He said, you are playing like a tiger. Oh my God, I can't believe. You must carry on. And he also said, people eat rice with meat. That means the quantity of rice is more than meat. He used to enjoy meal, very much. So he, because I was very thin, so he thought of, I should be little healthy, more healthy. And the way you should play, people will go after you. You don't have to run after people. I try to follow that words till now. What a beautiful, advice. So after 7 8 years, with my Guruji's permission, Ustad Dhyanis Khan Sahibji's permission, I thought of taking lessons from one of the legends. So first choice was because Pandit Nikhil Banerjee used to like me a lot, and he recommended my name to play in Ahmedabad in '78 in Bhopal. So I thought of approaching. He used to stay before just close to my house. So I thought of taking the opportunity, approaching him for my lesson. So one day I took the appointment and went to meet him, and I told him that I wish to learn from you. He listened quietly. Sure, I like to teach you, but when I retire from my performance, then I didn't want to argue or didn't want to say any words. Okay. So next option, because I was learning from Ustad Dhyanis Khan Sahibji, so I thought of Ustad Ali Akbar Khan Sahibji would be nice, good choice. Then I find he used to come in India very for few weeks. Most of the time he was in USA or in Europe or abroad, and I didn't have that much money going to USA and learning from him. So I gave up that idea. So after few months, then I thought of, let me try. Guruji comes, 6 months he's in India and 6 months he's in abroad. Let me try. So I contacted one of his students, Shyamadas Chakraborty. So he said that he's coming to Calcutta. If you want, you can meet and you can approach to him. I said, why not? So that year, I remember 1978, when he came to Calcutta, he used to stay in a beautiful house. The shape was like a sheep. That was Kalpana Sen's residence. Beautiful house. So I went there, and then I arrived there in the morning. and I was waiting in the downstairs, and Guruji was on the upstairs. Many people came and went away, but I was waiting and waiting and waiting. 2, 4, 6 hours gone. Still I was waiting. Then I came little out from my room. Somebody saw from the top, and he knew me. You know, he listened me before. I was known to him. So we have told Guruji that this guy is very talented. You must meet him. So he was Mr. P.K. Das. Then Guruji asked me to come up. So I was very happy. So I went up and touched his feet. So I told him that I wish to learn from you. He listened quietly. What do you play? I said, Sarod. Maybe he didn't listen properly. He thought I said sitar. He started looking my, fingers, right fingers. Then he said, looks you don't practice at all because no mark on my right finger. Then I said, no, Guruji, I play some. Oh, I see, I see. Then he was checking my left hand. Okay, after checking, maybe he was satisfied. Then he started saying, I'm very busy. I have no time to teach you. I always travel one place to another. I have no time to teach you. Then I kept asking him because my nature is very introvert, very shy. Still, I took the courage, approaching him for a few times. After a few times, you know, he was little soft. Okay, but before teaching you, I like to hear you first. Then I decide. Okay, Guruji. Then I, after touching his feet, I went back to my house. Then I kept contacting his student, Shyamadasji, when he's coming to Kolkata, Calcutta again. So that was, 79. He came to Calcutta for a concert, and he was staying in a beautiful house, house of Mr. Lala Sridhar. Big house, beautiful house. So he was staying there. So I arrived in the morning. So morning, I when he came out from the room, I touched his feet. Okay, beta, you wait, you sit. Then I was waiting outside. Many people came in and went away, but he didn't call me. He was so busy. So that day also, 6 hours gone. Now it was time to take his lunch, 2 o'clock. So before going back to home, I thought, let me approach another time. Guruji, so can you listen me one day? I'll be very grateful. Oh, okay, okay, okay. You do one thing. I have an I have a meeting at 5 o'clock. So you come at 4 o'clock. I like to hear just 2 minutes. Then I will tell you whether know, I could continue with you or not. Oh my God, difficult answer. So I thought what to do. So I went back to home running, ate something, came back by 4 o'clock, tuned my sarod, and he came to my room. That was 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and that time Kamala Shankarji was there with him, sister of Lakshmi Shankar. They were both sitting, on the floor, on the carpet, and l- listening me. I thought, what to play in 2 minutes. Then I thought of ignoring 2 minutes. Let me play on my own. So I thought of playing, 4 o'clock Raga Bhim Palashri. So I just kept playing my Ala Pushan Jor. Then I took one tabla player. So I started Gat, slow, then first tempo Tintal, then played also Jhala. So I was observing him, he was listening quietly with closing his eyes and nodding his head many times. That day I was feeling, something very special power. I can't express. I was feeling, from inside some very strong power within me. So my playing, I was, I shouldn't say I was quite happy. And then after finishing, I went to him to take his blessing. I was about to touch his feet. He didn't allow me. He just, hugged me tightly. From today onwards, you will be my student. Oh my God. I was so happy. One of my golden days, I can tell you. I spent with Guruji so many years. I never saw him, hugging many people just like that. He will do namaskar, but not hugging. But that was very special to me. I was, 79. I was just 19 years old. So you are following my path. Very nicely played. So these words I will cherish forever. These are like, Bharat Ratna for me. So from 1980, he called me to Varanasi for the Ganda ceremony. No, that day Guruji puts one thread to his student, and same thing student do to Guru, to his Guru. After doing that in a puja room in Varanasi in his house, he said, "From today onwards, I will look after you, you will look after me." I said, "Sure, Guruji, it will be my fortune." So that was over. Then we had a great music session, Many students came from all over India, Europe, USA. So I was one of them. 7 days, maybe, or 10 days. Continuous learning, morning session, then lunch together, then little break, Then again in the evening till 8:30 in the evening. So with Guruji's I was with Guruji in his house, and many students came and went back to their places in Varanasi. That was so marvelous to remember those classes, those musics, wonderful classes. And this incident I like to share with you. I don't know I what I deserve, but Guruji thought of including me in his orchestra that was called Tal Vadya Kachari. So he included me with Pandit late Deepak Chaudhary, with Pandita Jaya Viswasji, and I remembered in Tal Vadyam Zakir Bhai was there, and Hari Shankar on Kanjira, and Palghat Raghuji on Mridangam, and few others. So that was wonderful opportunity to be cherished. So 80 gone. Then I came back to my home in Kolkata. Then one day he called me up and said that, can you come in Delhi? So tell me, Guruji, when I should come. That was, I remember 83. In the beginning of 83, I arrived there. I still remember nobody was there, just Guruji and one caretaker. He will take care the little house cleaning and dusting and little bit of cooking. And he used to stay in a big bungalow in Lodhi Estate in New Delhi. He got this house. I think he became the member of parliament. And I still remember the big house, big lawn. That time he didn't have much furniture. He took one furniture like a table. Those days I saw him. So after 6 months, 7 months, then another student of him, Pandit Shubhendra Raoji, he came to Delhi. So we used to live together. When Guruji was in Delhi, occasionally we used to learn from him. And after maybe few years, Pandit Gauravji joined with us. Gauravji, am I correct or I may be wrong?
Please remove the word Pandit from my name.
Oh my God.
And also, please remove my surname. Just call me Gaurav.
Gauravji. So
No, no, no G, no G.
Gauravji came and and he came with his violin. He was so talented. You know, I saw him practicing violin. He was so talented. So maybe after a few days or a few weeks, he thought of playing sitar. Maybe he may have talked to Guruji and took his permission. So then he started practicing on sitar. So we were there few years. Then another student of him, Abhiman. Then Gaurav's brother Uday ji came. Then another uh, student of him, Aditya Verma from Montreal, Canada. He joined with us after I spent 5 years. Then he came. So we used to stay together, practicing or learning from him, taking care of Guruji. So all of them had their beautiful um, musical background, family background. But I was very lucky that I didn't have any background. Still, I was there, you know, with God's grace. I feel so fortunate. So we had a wonderful time together. When Guruji was not there, we used to talk, we used to play many things. And, I still remember occasionally we got the, talim. Otherwise, Guruji was very busy in his, many with his many activities. Still, he made sure that he will spend some time with us. So we are very lucky to have him. We got the talim time to time. One day, I like to share. We we are having dinner, and I must tell you, Guruji was so disciplined in his life. In many ways, he had the routine of doing one after another. So he will get up in the morning, brushing, then newspaper, and along with newspaper he will take his tea, biscuits, and apple. Then breakfast, then lunch. We used to also eat with Guruji. What an opportunity! Then we used to sit with Guruji in the dinner time, eating with him. After eating, then he had so much humor, and he was just a childlike. So he will start playing word building. He will start making cracking jokes. He will say something, then ask others student, maybe Gaurav, Shubhendra, or Uday, Aditya, please tell one joke, and he will laugh. He used to smile always. So after dinner, it took another 2 hours. So our hands, we couldn't get up just like that. It got dried. We couldn't say anything to Guruji. We also at the same time enjoyed those moments so much. So one day I remember we finished our dinner. We said to Guruji, "Good night, Guruji." That was official good night. But he can be out anytime, and always like to take my name Partho. Anything missing, or he needs something, Partho. So I was always ready. I was always at his doors. So I thought today he's not going to come out from his room. So we went back to our rooms, changed our dresses, about to take rest or little bit of practice because all day didn't get the opportunity to practice, running and running, taking after taking care of many things. So very busy schedule. So I thought of practicing. So I was about to start my practice. Then I heard Guruji calling me Partho because he was Bengali. So in our Bengali pronunciation, O is very important. Rasgulla. So I went to him running. Then, can you bring your sarod? So he was just told me, you just bring your sarod. I said, sure, sure, Guruji. So within few minutes, I was there, and he was teaching me in his puja room. That was 1 o'clock in the night. This moment I will cherish forever. So he was teaching me just alone, and he was sitting in front, teaching one after another. He was playing sitar, and along with sitar, he was singing while teaching me. And I noticed he was enjoying a lot, and I too. Almost an hour or 1.5. So whatever he said, I picked up, in one time, and that particular phrases I couldn't understand exactly. So he had to repeat few times. So he didn't get angry. He said to me in Bengali, "Gora, এইরকম নয়, এটা এইভাবে করো." Immediately I got connected and I did it. And he was so happy. He said to me that, Ghora in English we call it horse. Horse, don't, not this way, do this way. He was a great teacher, great teacher, so humble. And so that moment I will remember for my whole life. And you know when after few years, and he told me and Shubhendra and another student of him, Parimal, and many other students, uh, that he's planning a an orchestra which is going to be performed in USSR, Moscow. That was in 1988. That was my first abroad tour, first tour, outside India. That was very special to me, and more special because I'll be with Guruji, learning many things from him, serving him. So we all, and Pandit Bishamon ji was there, Pandit Shankar ji was there, Pandit Kumar Bose ji was there, Pandit Ramesh Mishra ji was there, and many others, Pandit Asif Desai and many others. So we had a big orchestra in USSR in Moscow. That was my first tour with him. So we came back. We had a wonderful time there. And in '89, I remember, he casually he asked me, "Do you like to play with me?" Oh my God, I said, "Yes, Guruji, if you think so. Okay, can you play with me in Mumbai at the Sammukhanand auditorium?" In Sammukhanand auditorium is a big auditorium in Mumbai, big capacity. So that day I will remember. Why? First accompaniment with my great teacher, sitting with him on the same stage, accompanying him with him, it's a great moment. So you will not believe, he didn't tell me what he's going to play. And one raga he started, he just told me just before going to the stage, I'm going to play raga Shuddh Kalyan. From my inside, I got afraid because I didn't play this raga. Never I played this raga. Never researched this raga. Oh my God, playing with him and on top this raga. Oh, what is going to happen? So I tried my best. So after the intermission, then he played one of my you know favorite ragas, raga malkons. Then he gave me the opportunity, and I took the opportunity and played few times. I enjoyed so much that I cannot express through words. That was, this kind of my moments I like to remember for whole of my life. And and after that concert, he said, "Can you go with me abroad, touring with me?" I said, "Sure, Guruji." As you say, from that year, from '89, I started touring with him all over, in India, all the places, abroad in Europe, USA, in Singapore, so many places. That was a treat to me. You can imagine sitting with him, it's a big thing. This kind of moments I will cherish forever. So I was there till 1995. I used to tour with him. Then great Anushka started, accompanying with him. I was still there playing Tampura. Maybe first performance I remember, Anushka was there. I was there all too with my sarod. So this kind of incidents, beautiful.
Wonderful, wonderful. Parthoda, I have
Yes,
some questions here, if you allow me,
yes.
and then we'll continue with
So
your.
maybe I'm taking too much time.
You're not taking time at all. This is wonderful. People are enjoying. There are a lot of people who have joined.
I
Chinnamma
think
has
so.
joined. Chinnamma is enjoying very much, and she's in fact writing to me also simultaneously. Uh, Learning from your father in the style of uh, Radhu Babu, the great Pandit Radhika Mohan Moitra ji, then coming to Ustad Dhyanesh Khan Sahab, and then coming under the tutelage of the greatest, Pandit Ravi Shankar ji.
Yes.
How was how was each training different? What did you learn specifically from each one of them? Your father, Dhanesh Khan, and Guruji. And coming to Guruji, when you had your first lesson, how did you feel? What was the change? What did you realize you have come to? Because you must have imagined, but then it's something to imagine and then something to really be under and find out for yourself, oh wow, this is where I am. What was that?
Look, there is no end in learning process.
Yes.
In every stage, you you learn something. So when I was with my father, I learned many things, and constantly he used to advise, suggest many things in all my life, time to time. Then when I was with Ustad Dhyanish Khan Sahab ji, I learned all the Maihar Gharanas, beautiful things. But when I came to Guruji, Pandit Ravi Shankar ji, so that was my higher learning process. So all the uh, finer things, how to uh, compose a tan, composing a tan, or how to decorate, all those things. You know, I I already used to perform many places, many years. So this was I was adding on top how to make it finer, those intricate things. I was, and I from when I I when I was at 10, I used to make up thousands of diyas. So when I came to Guruji, I saw him playing beautiful diyas. So I used to enjoy a lot. So I took those parts also. Along with the music, you add beautiful diyas for the finishing, those good parts. And then along with the music, there are many things I learned from him. Try to
Wonderful,
follow
wonderful. I
those
always
parts.
think of this. I always have thought about this, Parthoda, because I used to see you practice so much, put your cloth and in a dark room, sit in a corner and practice. Then I heard you play. Then it is Malcolm's, what you mentioned, one of my first big revelation in terms of depth and beauty of a rag was hearing you play Malcons in the music room. I'll never forget that. How beautifully you played the alap. Then hearing you sit in a talim with Guruji, what I felt was that he took you to a different depth. He took you to a different level in terms of exploring the
Absolutely,
rag and the tal. So it's going from
absolutely. It was like the
it's
ocean.
it's an ocean and both theory and practical in terms of listening to him, seeing him practice, sit with him in his music room or in the puja room, and then delivering it in terms of going with him on stage and him teaching you how to approach the audience and how to take the audience in your spell and in your magic and how
Yeah,
to
it's another kind of education.
it's a
You
great
know
it's
how
like
to
going
handle audiences,
yes
how
it's
to
an education of
handle
say,
people.
going from school to college and finally going to a university
Absolutely,
where you're doing
absolutely.
your PhD and
Same
you're
same procedure in music
so
also.
beautiful. It is so beautiful. And one more question I have, Parthoda, which is a natural question to me, being a student of music. Your father was learning from Radhu Babu. So, did you ever meet Radhu Babu? Did you ever go with your father?
Absolutely. When I was a 16-year-old. I had a big performance with Pandit Chatterji in a beautiful auditorium in Kolkata, Ravindra Sadan. Is another incident, I like to cherish. So it was in the name of Radhu Babu's guru, Ustad Amir Khan Sahabji. So Pandit Buddhadev Das Gupta ji, he organized a festival, 4 days festival. I was there. I still remembered. I began with my recital because of the first day, many people turned out. You will not believe who was there in front of I can see Ustad Ali Akbar Khan Sahib is sitting, Pandit Radhika Mohan Mitra ji was there, Pandit Nikhil Nairji, uh, Pandit Shishir Kanadhar Chaudhary, and many other great musicians were there. But I never got afraid. What I I knew little, so I performed with Anindaji. You will not believe. After the performance, Pandit Radhika Mohan Mitra came running to me and hugged me. You played so well. That was a great blessings to me. So that was my first day meeting with him.
A natural question to me now that I know you met him and he was your father's guru. Did your father or you ever think of going to him for learning? And if not, why not?
Look, when I started learning music, I never saw my father practicing music. Okay, and I just started innocently. Uh, Without knowing anything, I started, but I never saw him practicing. So maybe after a few years, then I went to Ustad Dhyanis Khan Sahib ji, but not to Radhika Mohitra ji. That was the first opportunity where I could meet with him.
Okay, okay, okay. Wonderful, wonderful. These
He
are,
he 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 had his own style of
yes,
playing,
beautiful style, beautiful.
beautiful style.
Ah,
So
Parthoda, do you remember any composition of Radhu Babu or Ustad Amir Khan Sahib which your father taught you? Do you remember any composition? You can play for us just one line, maybe.
that is 50 years back. I don't remember. Thakur Dada Piyara Khai. That much I remember.
Beautiful, beautiful composition.
Beautiful.
Very old kafi in history.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Parthoda, this has been a wonderful journey. How would you like to? I mean, we would love to hear you play and finish today's episode with playing of yours. But before that, do you want to say anything more?
If you allow,
Of course, of course.
I'd like to play another small piece.
Sure.
And with all your permissions, my Guruma's permission, I, not seriously, I thought of, creating something, you know, to remember my Guruji. So I created one raga, if you allow, just
Wonderful,
for the
wonderful,
fun.
wonderful.
So the
That's
name of the
absolutely
raga,
wonderful.
recently, I was practicing Yogeshwari, and recently, Panchamda, great music composer, his death anniversary was there. So on that day, I heard of Lalit Pancham, Basant Pancham. So why not Yogeshwari Pancham? No, I was playing, and I I liked it so much. May I try? Not
Please,
seriously, just for
please.
us only.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Chinnamma is saying, please play Partho.
Sorry.
Chinnamma is saying, please play Partho.
Oh, thank you so much. Chinnamma Pranam.
And also, Chinnamma is saying, after that, beautiful, beautiful Partho.
I thought of adding Pancham. I was enjoying just for my personal imagination.
Guruji will be so happy. He was so proud of you.
So
He loved you so
I
much.
wanted to tribute this little music to him.
How wonderful. How wonderful. I
Thank
just
you.
wanted to add, Parthoda, Chinnamma has just written here that when Anushka was 7, she gave you the name Partho Sarothy.
Absolutely, because my name was Partho Sarothy.
Correct.
So Sarothy, almost similar to Sarodi because I play Sarod. So I started, using that name also.
Yes.
Many places I use that name.
Yes.
It's a beautiful fun.
Yes. Yes. Thank you, Parthoda. You are a very important member of our family, Guruji's
Thank
family.
you so much.
And with so much of dignity, you're carrying the music and
Thank you
legacy of
so much.
Guruji. We are all very proud of you. We are
Thank you so much.
all so much. We love you so much, Parthoda. You take care.
Thank you so much for the wonderful opportunity. I have no words to thank you all. How much I am feeling blessed and fortunate. I got my Guruma's blessings and all your love and respect and blessings too. I'm so grateful to all of you. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you
Hope
for
to see
coming,
you
Partha.
soon.
And
We
thank
all
you for
love you,
making
Parthoda.
this episode so
Thank you.
melodious with your sarod. Beautiful. What a touch and what a wonderful meditative quality you have about your music, which is so
Thank
special.
you. Bless me.
Thank you.
Bless me.
Absolutely true, Dada. Absolutely
Thank you
true.
so much.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Gaurav, to
Thank
joining
you.
us.
Thank you,
And thank you,
Guruji. Thank you.
Parthoda.
Pranam.
Thank you.
Pranam.
Thank you.
Good night to all.
Good night.
Good night. Good night.
And the viewers, do join us on the coming Sunday on our 81st episode of Reflections at 8 p.m. Be safe. Good night.